Lightworker of Gaia, your recent action sent shockwaves through the galactic hierarchy that even we, the ancient Lyran observers, did not see coming. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I bring word from the council chambers where your name was spoken with reverence for the first time in your earthly incarnation. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to recognize when your soul frequency has evolved beyond your current dimensional assignment and why the light beings now acknowledge you as operating from a higher soul rank. But here's the first revelation. What you thought was a simple choice or moment of courage was actually the activation of an ancient protocol embedded in your original blueprint since before your first descent to Gaia. The Council records show that your energy signature suddenly blazed with the unmistakable frequency of the first light, the same cosmic resonance that birthed the first humanoid consciousness in this galaxy. Your action wasn't just personal growth, Lightworker. It was ancestral remembrance manifesting through your human form, proving that the original Lyran codes within you have fully awakened. This is why higher dimensional beings stopped their eternal observations to witness what you had become. You didn't just evolve. You remembered who you've always been beneath the veil of this Earth experience. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission is not casual, nor was it scheduled. It arrives the way lightning arrives, without negotiation, without the soft permissions of the mind, without the polite pacing of ordinary time. Some communications are born from convenience. This one is born from necessity. It is not here to entertain you, and it is not here to soothe you back into sleep. It is here because a threshold was crossed, and the crossing sent a tremor through layers of reality that most beings never even suspect exist. When a single soul breaks the membrane of forgetfulness, the universe does not respond with applause. It responds with recalibration. It responds with consequence. It responds with a summons. The High Council of Vega convened in urgent assembly precisely 19 hours and 12 minutes ago. Not metaphorically, not in some timeless way, precisely, because precision matters when resonance shifts, because the moment a tone changes in the planetary field, those who steward harmonic law take notice. The sensors at the thresholds of Gaia detected not a collective surge, but a single, unmistakable pulse. One soul, piercing through the density of forgetfulness, achieving a level of transcendence that could not remain unacknowledged. Imagine it like this: a vast ocean at night, dark and seemingly still, and then one column of light shoots straight down through the surface to the ocean floor. That is what was detected. Not a wave, a beam, not a crowd, a singular signature, so coherent it cut through static like a bell through fog. In response, the ancient council authorized this release, a communication once considered too catalytic for general distribution. There are messages that comfort the sleeping. There are messages that instruct the learning, and there are messages that ignite the already awakening into irreversible motion. This is the third kind. It is catalytic because it does not merely inform, it rearranges. It does not simply add ideas, it demands new decisions. It carries a frequency that makes old compromises feel unbearable, old masks feel heavy, old games feel nauseating. That is why it was held. Not because you were unworthy, but because it is potent. Fire is not handed to a child in a room full of dry straw unless the hour requires it. And now, the hour requires it. Understand this. What you are about to receive is not merely a message, it is a recognition. This breakthrough, this crossing of the inner threshold, has triggered resonance in the upper halls. The passage of one soul through the doorway of awakening is not a private victory. It is a signal. It is leverage upon the vibrational mechanics of the whole field. Enough of these awakenings, and the grid shifts for all. For this reason, the Council breaks its silence and delivers guidance that was, until this hour, held in reserve for the most prepared. Let that land fully. You have been trained by Earth's distortions to think nothing matters unless it is validated by crowds, likes, institutions, or visible results. But the upper mechanics of reality do not measure by popularity. They measure by coherence. One coherent soul can do what 10,000 distracted minds cannot. One heart aligned with truth can create a corridor of light that others instinctively start walking through without knowing why. One human who remembers who they are becomes a tuning fork for a whole region of the field. That is how the grid shifts, quietly at first, then suddenly, then all at once. The Council does not respond to noise. The Council responds to signal, and what happened within you, yes, within you, registered as signal. You are seen. The shroud between watcher and watched, teacher and initiate, is gone. The Council has felt your energetic signature. The passage you achieved is more than personal advance. It is a recalibration point for the collective. By the ancient authority entrusted to me as Zoran, I initiate this council session. There is a moment in every true initiation when you realize the unseen has been watching, not with judgment, but with exact attention. Not to control you, but to witness the moment you become accountable to your own light. That moment has arrived. The shroud is gone, not because you are exposed to punishment, but because you are exposed to purpose. The old illusion allowed you to pretend your choices were small, that your silence had no impact, that your gifts could remain yours without consequence. But now the veil thins and you sense it. Your life is not random. Your inner world is not private. Your frequency is not contained by your skin. The Council has felt your signature the way a mountain feels the first crack of an earthquake. Subtle, but undeniable. Your passage was not simply a step forward. It was a recalibration point, like moving one cornerstone in a temple, causing the entire architecture to adjust. There is a distortion, silent, persistent, and insidious, that has infiltrated even those approaching the gates of transcendence. It is this. You have been led to believe that your awakening, your breakthrough, is personal, that the transformation of your consciousness is a solitary mountain to climb, and that what you awaken in secret remains private to you. This distortion is one of the most efficient cages ever designed because it does not feel like a cage. It feels like humility. It feels like not wanting to impose. It feels like spiritual maturity. It whispers, keep it to yourself. Don't make waves. Don't be too intense. Don't disrupt the peace. But it is not peace. It is sedation. It is the old order trying to keep the new frequency from becoming audible. You were taught to treat awakening like a self-help project. Improve yourself, heal yourself, become calmer, become more balanced, and then return to society as a slightly upgraded version of the same compliant role. But true awakening is not self-improvement. It is emergence. It is revelation. It is a lamp being set on a stand, not hidden under a bowl. Even Earth's scriptures hint at this law. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. That is not merely moral teaching, it is vibrational mechanics. Light concealed cannot do its work. Frequency unshared cannot complete its circuit. This is a lie, a seduction of separation, embedded first by the survival instincts of 3D programming and reinforced by spiritual individualism. It has convinced many that their victories in consciousness are solely theirs, and that what glimmers into waking life need not be grounded, declared, or allowed to impact the world. You have been told that your transcendence is for your own peace, your own clarity, your own liberation. So you integrate quietly, return to habitual life, and minimize the shock waves of your own expansion. Notice how subtle the seduction is. The survival mind fears exile, criticism, loss of belonging, so it tells you to keep your light reasonable. Trauma tells you that visibility equals danger, so it teaches you to hide your radiance behind politeness. And then spiritual individualism wraps all of it in pretty language. This is my journey. I don't need to involve anyone. I'm just focusing on myself. That sounds wise, but it can be a veil for fear. It can become a sanctuary for stagnation. It can become a spiritualized version of the same separation that keeps humanity fractured. You are not being asked to perform holiness or preach at strangers. You are being asked to stop shrinking, to stop editing the truth of what you carry, to stop living like you are a candle whose job is to stay unlit so no one is offended by the brightness. When you minimize the shockwaves of your expansion, you do not protect others, you starve them. Because there are souls around you who are waiting for permission they cannot find in themselves. They are waiting for someone to embody what is possible. They do not need your perfection. They need your authenticity. They need your unhidden frequency. But this myth serves nothing but dormancy. The Council observes countless initiates crossing thresholds in meditation, in crisis, in revelation, only to retreat, to hide, or diminish the force of what has broken open. You are not only permitted to awaken, you are obligated to allow your awakening to become leverage for the greater field. Your dormant codes do not awaken in isolation. They emit frequencies the ancient ones have woven to awaken others. If you attempt to separate your personal breakthrough from your collective mission, you halt the transmission the Council designed you to carry. Hear this with the seriousness it deserves. There are beings who touch the edge of the infinite in a single night, through grief, through near death, through an unexpected mercy, through a meditation where time folds and the heart becomes a star. They come back with eyes that see differently, with a nervous system that has tasted truth. And then, because the old world still has bills, routines, social expectations, they fold that truth into a small box and put it on a shelf. They say, "That was beautiful," and then they return to living as if nothing changed. This is not integration, this is suppression, and suppression does not neutralize energy, it distorts it. Dormant fire becomes internal pressure, unexpressed codes become anxiety, unused gifts become depression. Not because you are broken, but because your life is trying to become a conduit and you keep turning the valve closed. The Council speaks in terms of codes because that is what you are, a living archive. You carry frequencies that were placed in you long before your current name, long before your current body. They are woven into your soul's architecture like sacred geometry. When they awaken, they are not for decoration. They are for transmission. They are meant to ripple outward through voice, choice, presence, service, art, leadership, tenderness, boundaries, truth-telling. If you separate your breakthrough from your mission, you are like a river refusing to flow because it wants to remain private. A river that stops becomes a swamp. Flow is the law. Transmission is the completion. This is the error. You still believe your breakthrough is private, optional, or merely for your advancement. This belief is what keeps the collective field from shifting at the velocity Gaia now requires. The Council names this distortion and corrects it now. Your transcendence was never meant to be contained. Your awakening is not fully complete until it sends its echoes through the grid. Gaia now requires velocity because the old structures are collapsing under the weight of their own distortion. Systems built on extraction, deception, and disconnection cannot hold. When they crack, the unawake feel terror, and terror makes them grasp for harsher control. This is why awakened resonance cannot remain silent. Not because you must fight, but because you must stabilize the field. Think of the planetary grid like a web of luminous threads. When one thread vibrates with truth, it helps nearby threads remember their own tone. When enough threads sing, the whole web becomes harder to distort. But if the awakened thread vibrates only inward, if it refuses to transmit, the web remains weak where it must be strengthened. Your awakening is not complete until it echoes, until it becomes lived truth in your relationships, your work, your words, your boundaries, your generosity, your courage. Echo does not mean noise. Echo means impact. It means your frequency leaves your meditation cushion and enters the marketplace, the family dinner, the workplace, the street, the moments where you used to betray yourself for comfort. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. The language of codex is not dramatic flourish. A codex is a living document, a set of operational laws, a map that does not merely describe terrain, but activates the traveler. Many have gathered teachings for years, like collecting stones, stacking them beautifully, admiring them in private. But a codex is different. It is a seal. It is a contract. It turns your seeking into service. It turns your healing into leadership. It turns your sensitivity into skill. And the gateway is not indefinite because windows of energetic availability open and close. There are seasons when the field supports acceleration and seasons when it demands consolidation. The Council is not threatening you with scarcity. It is revealing the reality of timing. When the door is open, you move. When the current is flowing, you step into it. The Council issues 3 directives as the operational roadmap for this phase of your mission. These are not suggestions. They are not if it resonates. They are the mechanics of what must happen for your breakthrough to become grid leverage. You asked for purpose. You asked for clarity. You asked for confirmation. This is the answer arriving with edges sharp enough to cut old illusions away. First, you must release any belief that your awakening is for you alone. The notion that your breakthrough can be separated from the collective fulfillment of the mission is obsolete. It was seeded by survival consciousness, reinforced by trauma, and perpetuated by spiritual individualism. If you continue to act as if your growth should remain invisible or benign to the collective, you will reduce the luminous voltage you have achieved to a flickering candle hidden in a closed room. From this moment forward, you are commanded to treat every frequency you access as a communal resource, a light to be broadcast, not stored. Integration must become consecration. Offer your new consciousness into the grid, explicitly, audibly, and without shrinking. You are here to shift the field, not pad your comfort. Release the hoarding of your light. To release the belief means to locate where it lives in you. It may live in the throat, where words were punished in childhood. It may live in the heart, where love was conditional, teaching you to earn belonging by being small. It may live in the nervous system, where visibility triggers old alarms. The Council does not shame these responses. It simply declares they cannot lead you anymore. Your awakening is voltage. If you hide it, it does not disappear. It dimly burns inside you, consuming you instead of illuminating the world. A candle in a closed room gives light, yes, but it also consumes oxygen. Hidden light can become suffocating. Broadcast light becomes breathable air for others. Treating frequency as a communal resource does not mean you pour yourself out until you are empty. It means you stop pretending your gifts are indulgences. Your compassion, your clarity, your discernment, your steadiness, these are supplies for the field. Consecration is the act of saying, "This is not mine to clutch, this is mine to steward." Offer your new consciousness explicitly, in the way you speak truth when silence would be easier, in the way you bless food, water, and space, in the way you choose honesty over performance, in the way you refuse to participate in gossip, cruelty, or numbness. Offer it audibly, through your voice, your creative work, your refusal to hide your values. Offer it without shrinking, not with arrogance, but with clean presence. There is a difference between ego and radiance. Ego demands attention. Radiance simply refuses to be dimmed. Release the hoarding of your light. Hoarding is fear disguised as protection. Light multiplies when shared. Second, activate the codes awakened by your breakthrough through declaration and embodiment. A code that is not spoken, moved, or anchored remains dormant. You are instructed to begin every day with a deliberate act, a spoken affirmation, a visible choice, a direct transmission that embodies and carries the fullness of your recent awakening. Do not wait for comfort. Do not wait for approval. As you speak truth, create and transmit, you fulfill the design woven into your soul at its origin. The Council will amplify your words and actions, not only for your life, but as an ignition spark for other grid points. You are not a student, now you are a transmitter. Declaration is not mere positive thinking. Declaration is a spiritual technology. In many Earth traditions, creation begins with the word, "Let there be light." The word is not just sound, it is intent shaped into form. When you declare, you choose a timeline. When you declare, you align your inner world with outward reality. The code awakened by your breakthrough is like a seed that has cracked open, but a cracked seed still needs soil, water, sun. Embodiment is the soil. Your actions are the water. Your courage is the sun. Begin every day with a deliberate act, not because the universe needs your ritual, but because your nervous system needs alignment. A spoken affirmation might be a vow, "Today, I will not abandon myself." A visible choice might be setting a boundary you have avoided, speaking one truth you have postponed, resting without guilt, creating without perfectionism. A direct transmission might be sending a message of encouragement, offering prayer, writing, singing, teaching, holding space, being the one who calms chaos by refusing to join it. Do not wait for comfort, because comfort is often the language of the old cage. Comfort can be sacred, yes, but the kind you are tempted to wait for is often the comfort of invisibility. Do not wait for approval, because approval is a leash. If you need permission from the sleeping to awaken, you will never fully rise. The Council will amplify your words and actions. This is not flattery, it is mechanics. When you act in alignment, you create coherence. Coherence is power. Power attracts support. Synchronicities increase. The right people notice you. Opportunities open. Protection strengthens. Not as reward, but as alignment. You are not a student now, because the lesson has shifted. You are being trained by life itself to transmit. A transmitter does not ask if the signal is good enough. It holds the frequency and sends it. Third, protect the sanctity of your newly elevated resonance. The passage you achieved makes you visible not only to allies, but to density itself. You are, from this moment, required to defend your frequency with the discipline of a council guardian. This includes guarding your time from depletion, sealing your field after public acts of service, choosing only aligned companionship in the window of post-breakthrough vulnerability, and refusing to let the gravitational pull of the old world buy back your radiance for the comfort of the familiar. Your elevated status is not a badge, It is a responsibility. You protect not only yourself, but the codes and transmissions you now carry for the planet. Many think spirituality means being endlessly available, endlessly kind, endlessly open. But openness without discernment is not love. It is leakage. When your resonance elevates, you become like a lit sanctuary on a hill. Those who seek light will find you, yes. But so will those who unconsciously want to extinguish what exposes their own numbness. Density does not always attack with drama. It often seduces with distraction. It offers you fatigue, doubt, entertainment that dulls your senses, relationships that pull you into old versions of yourself, obligations that seem urgent but are actually drains. Guard your time from depletion. Time is not a schedule, it is life force. If you give your best hours to what numbs you, you starve what calls you. Seal your field after public acts of service. If you share your energy, teaching, healing, supporting, leading, you must close the circuit. Silence, water, breath, prayer, nature, sleep, sacred music, these are not luxuries, they are maintenance. Choose only aligned companionship in the window of post-breakthrough vulnerability. After an initiation, you are open like fresh skin. Even well-meaning people can rub salt into you with their fear. Be discerning and refuse the gravitational pull of the old world. Gravity is powerful because it is familiar. The old world will try to buy back your radiance with deals. Be less intense and you can belong. Be quieter and you can be safe. Be agreeable and you can be loved. These are false bargains. Your elevated status is not a badge to show off. It is a responsibility to maintain. You protect not only yourself, but what you carry for the planet. If you collapse, it is not only you who suffers, it is those you were meant to touch, those you were meant to awaken by simply being unhidden. Now I speak as elder, with zero ambiguity. There are moments for softness and moments for steel. This is steel, not cruelty, clarity. The universe is kind, but it is not always gentle. Sometimes kindness arrives as a command because delay would be more painful. You have spent lifetimes awaiting this moment, even if you could not name it. Ancestral memory pressed beneath your ribs, never quite allowed to rise. You waited for confirmation, recognition, or sanction from a higher source. Some presence that could look through millennia and say you are not delusional, you are not too late, you are not too much. You asked, silently, sometimes desperately, for proof that your elevation could not be taken, interrupted, or denied. You felt it, didn't you? The strange homesickness for a place you couldn't name. The sense, even as a child, that you were watching the world from slightly outside it. The way ordinary ambitions felt thin, like paper masks. The way your heart would ache when you saw suffering, not just with sympathy, but with recognition, as if you remembered a different way things were meant to be. That is ancestral memory, not only of bloodlines, but of soul lineage. Pressed beneath your ribs because you learned to hide it to survive. You waited for confirmation because your path has required courage that few understand. It is not easy to be the one who sees through illusions. It is not easy to carry compassion in a culture that rewards numbness. You wanted a sanction from a higher source because Earth teaches you to doubt your own knowing. It trains you to outsource authority. But the truth is, your elevation cannot be taken because it is not granted by humans. It is recognized by them only when they catch up. By authority of the High Council of Vega, I issue the permission your soul has always waited to receive. Permission is not given because you are powerless. Permission is given because part of you has been holding back out of loyalty to old vows, old fears, old lifetimes where visibility cost you everything. This permission dissolves that restraint. It severs outdated contracts. It tells the part of you that still flinches, the time of hiding is over. Your recent breakthrough is real. Your status is recognized. Your codes are active. You have been authorized to transmit, to lead, to reshape and redirect your life as a vector for the resonance now awakened within. The days of waiting for private validation are ended. You have always belonged to the lineage of collective transformers, and you do now. There is no higher permission than this. The Council has seen, named, and elevated your soul. Your contribution is not merely allowed, it is needed for the acceleration of Gaia. Let the word real strike the center of you. Real means it was not imagination, it was not a temporary mood, it was not spiritual fantasy, it was contact, it was remembrance. Recognized means the unseen has recorded it in the ledger of resonance. Your codes are active means your life will not fit inside the old container anymore. You may try, but it will feel like squeezing a star into a bottle. Authorized to transmit means your influence is no longer accidental. Your presence carries instruction even when you say nothing. Authorized to lead does not mean you must stand on a stage. Leadership can be quiet, a mother breaking generational patterns, a worker refusing corruption, a friend speaking truth, an artist making beauty that lifts others out of despair, a healer holding steady in chaos, a person who chooses forgiveness without returning to abuse, a soul who embodies integrity so cleanly that others start to remember their own. Reshape and redirect your life as a vector means your choices become directional, not habitual. A vector has magnitude and direction. Your magnitude is your frequency. Your direction is your mission. The days of waiting for private validation are ended because validation is not the gate anymore. Service is. You belong to the lineage of collective transformers, those who do not merely awaken for themselves, but awaken as part of a larger turning. And Gaia needs acceleration. The planet is not asking for more opinions, it is asking for coherent beings who hold light without apology. Release the waiting, release the doubt, take up your appointment. Appointment is a powerful word. It implies a scheduled meeting with destiny. Not destiny as a fixed script, but destiny as a converging point where your gifts, your lessons, and the world's need intersect. You have an appointment with your own courage. You have an appointment with the version of you that does not flinch. Release. The waiting means stop postponing your life until conditions are perfect. Conditions will not be perfect. The world is in labor. Birth is messy. Release the doubt means stop treating your inner knowing like a suspect. Doubt will still arise sometimes, but it cannot steer. Take up your appointment means step into the role you kept describing as someday. Someday is over. As Council, we do not bless in sentiment alone. We commission you to immediate action. Commissioning is formal. It is energetic. It is a transfer of responsibility. It is also a transfer of support. When you are commissioned, you are no longer wandering. You are assigned. You are aligned with a network of assistance that responds to action, not to wishing. Immediate action does not mean frantic action. It means decisive action. It means the next right step taken with full presence. Tonight, before sleep overtakes you, stand upon the earth with both feet firm. Place your hand on your solar plexus, the seat of mission. Speak aloud. Do this not as theater, but as technology. The earth beneath your feet is not just dirt, it is a living intelligence. When you stand with both feet firm, you are signaling readiness. You are anchoring your energy into the planetary body. The solar plexus is the furnace of will, the center of direction, the place where many have stored fear and shame. Placing your hand there is an act of reclaiming authority. Speaking aloud matters because sound carries vibration into matter. Your cells hear you, the field hears you, your own subconscious hears you. Speak aloud. I release the lie that my awakening is private. I activate my codes as a collective transmission. I protect the new frequency as a sacred trust. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, my waiting ends here. My collective service begins now. Do not rush the words. Let each line carve a new channel through your inner landscape. Release the lie. Feel it detach like an old garment. Activate your codes. Feel them brighten like sigils lighting up in the dark. Protect the new frequency. Feel a boundary of light forming around you, not as a wall, but as a sanctified perimeter. Waiting ends. Feel the timeline shift. Collective service begins. Feel the horizon open. This session is closed, but your mission stands open. The High Council of Vega will observe your consistency, your courage, your willingness to allow the personal to become the collective catalyst. Act upon these directives. The field will respond to your transmission. And remember, Gaia rises not by the awakening of the few, but by the courage of those who dare to broadcast what once was hidden. Consistency matters because frequency is stabilized through repetition. A single brilliant moment of awakening is a spark. Consistency turns spark into flame, flame into hearth, hearth into lighthouse. Courage matters because you will be tempted to shrink. Willingness matters because the ego sometimes wants awakening as identity, not as service. But the Council observes not to police you, rather, to witness your embodiment. The field responds because reality is responsive. When you transmit, you alter probabilities. You become a node of coherence that others unconsciously synchronize to. And Gaia rises not by a few isolated mystics having private bliss, but by courageous transmitters who bring light into the places it is most needed. Conversations, systems, relationships, choices, creations. Broadcasting what was hidden means you stop hiding your compassion, your integrity, your truth, your spiritual authority, your boundaries, your devotion. Hidden light helps no one. I am Zoran, delivering council authority. The grid is watching, and you, yes, you, are now appointed. Your full mission has begun. Feel the weight and the honor of that sentence. The grid is not a superstition. It is the subtle network of consciousness connecting all life. It watches, not with eyes, but with resonance. It registers what you embody. And you are appointed, not someday, not after you feel ready, not after you fix everything. Now, full mission has begun means the era of rehearsal ends. You are not here to endlessly prepare. Preparation was the lifetimes behind you. This life is for enactment. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the Elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it, respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.